This week on a podcast from Beneath, we talk about 1999's The Blair Witch Project.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. The unburied dead are coming back to life, seeking human victims.
And I am here with Eric, who is back from his trip. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, nice to be back on American soil and all that.
Yes. Billy couldn't join us. He was mauled by a grizzly bear.
Oh, so, we're back with the bear rapery? All right.
Yeah, I guess. Bear rapery, that's what we'll do. And so sitting in for Billy is Billy's friend, Cory. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be on here, man. Happy to discuss horror. Let's do it.
Glad to have you now that Billy's not going to be here. Yeah, so the Blair Witch Project, 1999. Cory, you're the guest. We'll let you go first. What did you think about this movie?
I mean, I want to swing out the gate hard with it. I think that one of the previous podcasts that you guys have had, Billy was saying that the Record series was up there with his favorite found footage type movies, and I definitely would say so. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I love Record 2. That movie still scares me to death. But Blair Witch Project, I mean, the uncertainty at the end of the film, that on the in the basement, going in that house, that movie that movie is absolutely terrifying, in my opinion. I don't know. It still holds true. I've watched it for a long time. Absolutely terrifying.
Eric, I know you're going to have a, because I think before you said you didn't really care for it, but I guess when you watched it again for the episode, it kind of changed you?
Like, I've always hated this movie, and now that you've made me watch it, I hate you too.
Okay.
No, it actually kind of grew on me. Like, what's her name? Heather. Like, she's the reason why this movie kind of works. She
is an effervescent screamer. She has.
It's something about her that's so legitimate. There's like a bit of humanity that I can't. I'm also stuttering. Sorry, I can't breathe out of my nose. Excuse me, everybody.
Yeah, we're all hit with the sinuses and sickness.
Yeah, I just came back from Montreal, which is fucking cold as shit, and I come back here at springtime. Fuck that.
I wish I had an excuse like that. It's been chilling in Charleston, and I still fucking feel like shit.
It's just
carry on. Now, Heather Donahue, go ahead and carry on there.
Yeah. There's something, I don't know, something genuine about her. Like, even though that, like, this movie is totally ruined by pop culture, like, everybody knows the ending and all that stuff, there's still something extremely watchable about her. Like, the whole time that I watched it again after, like, probably a fucking decade, I just found myself enjoying it, getting kind of invested, even though I knew it was kind of all horseshit. So that's a bit of a testament to just, like, what was going on and stuff.
She just seemed like such a vulnerable character. She seemed very vulnerable and, like, realistic, as you said. Like, she just seemed like somebody that, like, you could totally see being, like, if you're in that situation, that could be potentially how you would completely act. A lot more relatable.
I think all three of the actors were very convincing.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yes and no. Well, I mean, see, that's the thing. Like that's why I point out Heather to begin with, because she was the most solid force through the entire movie. There's very little, like, anything to break it up. The other two gentlemen, Josh and Mike, towards the end, it kind of start falling apart a little bit when it started to get a little bit more mysterious and a little bit more, like, I guess, magical, if you will, like
Mike
the whole witch stuff.
So I guess anybody that has not seen this movie, I don't know why you're listening to this episode if you've never seen it, but
spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers. This film is
Bruce Willis was dead the whole time.
Yeah.
It was him in the wig the whole time.
Yeah. 3 film students are making a documentary about the Blair Witch. So they go into the woods to film their movie. They end up going missing, and what was it, a year later? Their footage was found, hence found footage, and that's what this movie is their whatever the stuff they filmed, spliced together, and put out in theaters. And it was sold as a true event.
Yeah.
They had a website which had all the missing, information. If you've seen these people, we'll call this number. They even had a documentary on Sci-Fi that was called "The Curse of the Blair Witch," which also sold the fact that this, possibly really happened. Which that's what sold it for me, was the documentary, the website, the fact that they sold it as real. I had my doubts, obviously, that it wasn't real. Well, I didn't have my doubts that it wasn't real. I had my doubts that there wasn't actually a witch involved.
Well, the fact that it got nationwide release,
Yeah.
They're not gonna fart out a snuff film and just be like, "Lol."
Yeah. Right. But yeah, that's what sold it to me, was the marketing. I think it was the best marketing that a movie's ever done.
See, you were cognitive enough and old enough to be swooned by this stuff. I had paid no attention to this stuff. I only watched it because it was recommended.
Right.
Even at the time, my friends were they're young at the time. Was it 99? I saw 2000, so I was what, fucking 9 or 10. And I totally thought it was garbage. I didn't like it at all. I was what's happening?
It.
Yeah, totally over my head. I didn't understand. It's what, they just film it in the woods? I can do this. Where's my money?
Yo, I completely, what Carey was saying, I was completely, I bought the VHS. It was a double VHS case, and one was the Blair Witch Project film, and the other was the, what I thought was, when I was a kid, a 60 minutes CBS documentary about the Blair Witch Project and how this shit was real. And I would pop that shit in, and I was convinced as a little kid that shit was real for a little bit. I was petrified of the woods. I was absolutely terrified.
Which is terrible, because where we live, it's all woods.
It's all woods.
Yeah,
yes.
Dude, I can't join you. Oh, you go play in the woods. I don't want to do that. I'm good. No.
Yeah, but see, for me, I didn't think it was really a Blair Witch, but I thought maybe these kids actually went missing, and that's what, and of course it still had that creep factor. Like I said, I saw it in the theater. I think the best way to watch this movie is in a theater.
Yes.
On the big screen with the lights down, that is the best way to watch it, because this movie, it literally creeps me out when I watched it in the theater. Especially the stuff in the woods at nighttime. And that's because I've been in the woods at nighttime. It's fucking creepy.
Yeah, night camping.
All them Sasquatches get a little frisky at night. So.
Yeah.
That's when the chupacabras come out, and the Bigfoots, and the whatchamahavies.
Well, not that south.
Yeah.
Calm down, Cory. We're not like that.
So what's your favorite scene in the movie?
And don't say the part where they're in the woods. You cop out.
I'm not. No. No. My favorite part, if we're getting outside of the third act in the house, which, should definitely take hold as the top shelf crowning achievement of that, but I really liked when they saw the 5-pointed, or the little, silhouettes of the wicker people standing there, just like a message. It was so ominous. It wasn't, you didn't see anything. It was like House on Haunted Hill. It was just something that was there, and you got to have your imagination run fuck with it.
You know when they see the stick figures?
Dude, that shit was gnarly, man. That fucked with me. Shit sucked. It did, man.
No, I can never draw a little stick men at the corner of my paper anymore.
I have never played a game of Stickman since then. Ever.
What the fuck is Stickman? What kind of horseshit are you playing, dude?
Y'all
You
don't
mean
remember that
Hangman?
game
You
on
mean Hangman?
Albino Black Sheep back in like 2003, 2004? Albino Black Sheep? Newgrounds? You don't remember that, Stickman?
Man, Newgrounds is great.
Yeah, no, that was an awesome,
And
Like Pico School.
awesome
That was the
sight.
shit.
Eric, what was your favorite scene of the movie?
Um,
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting.
I like when the guy lost the map because it was hilarious.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. I agree with you, man. That flip out where Josh was finally like, we lost, or I think it was Mike, one or the other, when he was like, we just lost the map, and he like started just laughing in hysteria. Man, that was really organic.
He had definitely given up at that point.
That was when he had, that was an organic mental crack up. He broke down. He was done.
I guess so. I thought it was kind of
would've
funny.
been
Like,
shit,
I giggled.
man.
I was just like, what the heck?
Yeah, and like, I like to think, because I've watched a shit ton of Bear Grylls and things like that, and Man vs. Wild, Survive. If I get in there and I'm in the Pennsylvania woods and someone throws the map out the window, I'm done. I can't do any of that.
So you're saying they would have been way more well off, like after he admitted like throwing the map into the creek, he started like fucking putting water in his butthole or something like that?
No. What I was saying was
Bear Grylls is fake. You need to watch Survivor Man.
Yeah, I was saying, Survivor. Man,
I mean, like,
they
he's not
set
fake,
Bear Grylls
but, I mean,
up in those situations, but he still executes them.
That's true.
I've seen that dude dive into an Arctic
he does it in the
glacier.
parking lot of the hotel.
The dude does some crazy things. But Survivor Man is legit. That dude is a beast.
All right, so my favorite scene in the movie would have to be when they're in the tent and you hear the kids, and then like you see like a bunch of hands like hitting the tent, right? And it's like, because you don't know what, it's like you don't know what's out there. And of course,
I always thought it was just the director fucking with him.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I never thought that it was. I never heard a child.
Yeah, you could hear like.
Oh wait, you've never heard a child?
Yeah, like, I've been watching this for like 20 years. I've never heard this. No, I have not.
Yeah, but yeah, they hear like kids laughing, and then like all of a sudden you see like hands hitting the tent.
Yes.
And then of course they run out of the tent. Then that's whenever Heather supposedly sees something, which they were supposed to have filmed, but they didn't. And it's better that they didn't film it because it has a better impact not seeing anything. That's another thing too, is this entire movie you don't see anything at all. Like no Blair Witch, nothing. And it's still the most spoilers again. And it's still the most, it's the creepiest movie I've ever seen that doesn't show anything.
I think that they really did a really good job of adopting the Hitchcock aspect of less is more, like giving more up to the viewers of like what you personally think would be like, what would be the scariest thing that would be beating in that tent? What would be the scariest thing that would have you up against a wall or what have you? Like, I like that more where they leave it up. But then there's other movies where you see the monster and I'm like, all right, that was scarier than anything I could have thought of. But
I don't even think it's that far. I don't even think they took it that far to like Hitchcockian filmmaking. I think they just had their budget was low. They didn't really have much to work with. They just did the absolute best with what they had. It was very smart filmmaking.
Well, that's what they were saying, that like with the less is like that they were showing, like, the less you show the monster, the more your audience gets to have their own imagination, interpret what is chasing them. And if they're immersed enough into the characters that are being chased by said monster, then they can start thinking about the monster that's actually chasing them and get more immersed into that.
But you're not wrong. But I do have to say, like, the only reason why this is together is once again back to Heather. She's the only reason this movie is cohesive, because through the whole thing, there's a tipping point for sure. For her, it'll be like in the house. But it's just something about her just being, even when she's behind the camera, just the sound in her voice, it just de-escalates into just almost madness. I don't know what it is.
Now, are you saying that you feel sorry for her, or
Oh,
I kind of did.
Yeah, I think when I first watched it, I kind of felt sorry for her, and almost like this is what this is just something she wanted to do, and it's like, and you can tell that it's just falling apart all around her, and she's not, it's not working out for her. And I think she played that part really well. But I think what also helped the performances, and probably hers, was they were really out in the woods. They were really camping. They didn't, shoot for a day and then go home or go back. No, they were out there for the entire filming.
How long did it take to film it?
I'm not for sure how long it took. Let me look it up real quick. But I think that did help.
It was a very short amount of time. And unfortunately, I think, if memory serves me correctly, there has been a bunch of scoundrels that have defaced the Manchester house that was the Blair Witch place, and have spray painted the hell out of it and just defaced the shit out of it.
That sounds about right. That's the same reason why they never gave the exact location of the Evil Dead house forever.
Oh, yeah,
as they shouldn't. Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, they know where. Everyone knows where it is now. You can go there, and unfortunately, what was left is a lot less. People have been stealing from that site forever.
Yeah, I think there was some group there was some group that gathered up enough money to I guess take what was left of it out and kind of reconstruct it, and they take it around on tours now. I think
that was in Monroeville at the Living Dead weekend in June of last year. When I went there, they had Evil Dead shed traveling.
Mm. Oh, just a recreation.
Yeah,
because the only thing that was left was the chimney, and that was
oh really?
But I guess they had other other stuff that other people had kept. I can't find out how many days they took, but regardless whether it was a week or 2 weeks, they, like I said, they were just out there for real. And of course, they were given. I know that they were given a minimal amount of food, but they were given enough water to, keep them alive. But
enough rations to truck on.
Yeah, but still, I think that helped out, and I think that's where her performance really shines. Is she was really distraught because the whole scene of her where she does the confession into the camera. That was not scripted at all. The actress just decided, hey, I'm going to go over and shoot this real quick.
That was improv?
And just improv the whole thing. Because that's why it looks that way. She didn't realize the camera was zoomed in so far. She thought she was centered up. It was all just...
And that became the face of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, then Sanchez was like, all right, no, this is really dope. All right, we're keeping this.
This is dope.
Oh, yeah, it was good. I really...
Back in 99.
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is dope. We're keeping this.
But, yeah, I think it was... that was a really good scene, too.
Yes.
Yeah, and not just because it was, improv, but I think it just fit the movie. The character knew, look, we're dead out here. Let me at least leave my last message to everybody.
I don't want to go into the other ones, but there's a few movies that have scared me more than the Blair Witch Project, and just imagining being stuck in their position, and that last night as you were just speaking about, being stuck in there and just in this little spot, man, it would.
Yeah, but see, the weird thing is, though, it's not that hard to get lost in the woods, and
that's very true.
Witch or no witch, paranormal or not.
Yes,
you're just wandering in circles for weeks. So I think, like I said, that's the more creepier part of it.
Is how natural and organic this kind of is, that this kind of could happen, obviously without the supernatural aspect, but you can get fucking lost in there.
Right.
But,
so, yeah, let's take the supernatural away from it. Who believes that Mike and Josh, or Mike or Josh by himself, decided, I've had enough of this, I'm killing these motherfuckers? And he was the one, after he supposedly went missing, he's the one that killed both of them in the end.
I have studied, immaturely, of course, the Blair Witch the Blair Witch faux documentary they did, and then the Blair Witch Project, and I think there's something more to that they explain in the Blair Witch, the 2016 remake or the 2016 sequel. I think that really explains a lot about a lot of their motives. If you see the couple with the girl with the purple hair and then her boyfriend, I think their motives really kind of speak a lot about what happened with them and their behavior. I think it reflects a lot.
Eric, what do you think? Do you think that Josh killed him? Do you think Josh and Michael got together because they wanted to kill Heather? Or do you think it was a Blair Witch and all supernatural?
After I dig down deep inside,
dig it out.
This and all, yeah. I think that it was Heather the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, maybe she just drug him out into the woods just for no fucking reason. Like, she's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this documentary, but really, she had a little bit of lust for murder.
That's a hell of a college essay.
It's like, let's drag these guys out, basically starve them for 3 or 4 days, let them go crazy in the woods, and just like kind of have them go out at each other until one of them, decides to snap or whatever. It's like, oh, it's totally this guy, and that's when you creep around and just kind of like shiv.
Yeah, because she keeps feeding the Blair Witch thing the entire time, driving them crazy with it.
Yeah, but maybe the people that were knocking around the tin were just like someone who's like people who were in cahoots or whatever.
Could have been, yeah.
They were messing with her. They were in cahoots with her. All right, yeah, and they have enough time to sit up for the night and make all those little stick figure things to hang up.
Well, if you think about it, both of these gentlemen that were on the crew with her were hired. Like, I don't think they were friends or anything. They were just
they didn't know each other.
Yeah. So she probably just threw out like a classified ad, lure these 2 poor guys, one whom had was about to get married or whatever, had like a girlfriend or something.
This.
Yeah. And he totally had to go to work the next day. So.
Yeah, man. Josh started panicking logically immediately. He was like, "Yo." Okay, in like 36 hours or less, somebody's going to find out that we're missing. Somebody's going to start looking for us. And like, she was concerned, but she didn't seem to be nearly as concerned as the other two.
Yeah, she was only, well, if you think about it, she was only really frightened when the guys started to lash out at her.
When she thought that she might be in danger, be threatened. I know you guys haven't done anything. Well, I'm guessing you guys haven't done anything about the 2016 Blair Witch, so I don't want to.
No, go ahead. We can destroy that one now.
All right.
Well, I haven't seen it. So.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet? Okay.
No, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch a sequel to a movie I thought was trash.
Hey,
yeah, just give me more trash, please. Just beep, beep, beep. But I've already gone on record as saying like I enjoyed the Blair Witch Project much more seeing it now than I did when I was a kid. So.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I don't think that Heather would have had anything to. I don't think she was brought them out there to kill them or whatever, unless she thought it would help her movie, right?
I mean,
these 2 people that I heard they were killed by the Blair Witch, and I have all the footage.
There you go.
And
I don't think. I mean, I really just think that it was how it was with spoiler alert, everybody. Blair Witch 2016 spoilers. All right.
Well, now I don't have to watch it, by all means.
There you go.
Oh shit! I forgot. All right, now. All right.
No. This is Blair Witch for Dummies. Keep it rolling. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just cliff notes. That's all I need.
Nah, you don't need. Nah, you need to see it, man. Nah, I don't want to spoil anything, man. I don't want to be that guy.
All right. So, what did you guys think of the end, like the Blair Witch backstory?
Absolutely brilliant. I loved all the way they presented it, like a 60-minute CBS special, like seeing the background, finding I 10 out of 10 would date again.
See, I just assumed that even though the movie is not real, I assumed that the whole myth of the Blair Witch, I thought that was still I thought that was real. Like I thought they based it on something that actually happened, not actually happened, but it was like an actual myth. But I guess it wasn't either. But yeah, I thought it was a good job of what they made up for. Just to sell the rest of it.
That is actually, now that you've said something about it, that is kind of odd. Like all the pieces that they shot in town. Well, all this would have been like just raw footage, they found somewhere, right? But like the beginning of the movie was definitely cut like the documentary they wanted to make because they had no means to actually cut that stuff when they were in the forest.
In the wood, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed so genuine, and then all of it, like even when they were like packing up and they were like in their apartment or what have you, and they were like packing their shit and they were getting ready to go, like it was just. It seemed so fucking real. It just seemed so real.
Well, that's because the actors they didn't have a script. They were given notes.
Yeah, they were given like basically.
Hey, go to this part of the map, and hey, you lose the map, but don't tell nobody else knows that you're going to lose the map. They were just giving that stuff daily of what they were going to do next. So
that's
I think
gnarly,
that's kind of
I think it did.
It felt made it feel more real.
Definitely.
I would like to point out that to whomever's listening would like to make a movie like this, please do not torture your actors. They are people too. They have families.
Hey, Stanley Kubrick did a fine job on The Shining. Wendy Shaw went through 6 weeks of psychiatric care, and she's fine.
Well, and Olive Oil is now like a 200-pound crazy lady. Look what happened to her. So
exactly. So it's all about your mind.
He almost blinded. What's his name? The guy who played the new Donald Pleasance in the Halloween stuff. Why do I always forget his name? Is in Clockwork Orange.
Oh, Malcolm McDowell.
That's it. He's got the superhero name with the alliteration.
Well, after the Blair Witch, after they wrapped the Blair Witch Project, after they wrapped filming, they were all taken to Denny's for dinner. So
really,
yeah. See, it seems like the kind of movie that would kind of take off, and everybody thinks they're dead, and all the actors start popping up at the local Piggly Wiggly because that's where they work.
Start calling in 911 hotline tips like, "Yo, I just found somebody that was like missing. They're at Denny's right now."
Well, they actually told them to kind of stay low key, like they I guess don't go out a lot, and their parents, because they used their real name, their real names were in the movies. Their parents started getting like condolence cards and stuff once they heard it, their kids were dead.
I think that kind of attributed like this to kind of fall apart in the public eye because using their real name, I mean, these guys are actors, and after this movie fucking crashed the box office and made all kinds of money, Heather in particular started getting all kinds of like acting deals and stuff. Like you can look at her IMDb page and it just like exploded with like TV parts, movie parts and stuff. So she started to appear in all these places. So like the aura of the movie kind of started to like shrink after that.
Yeah, because I don't think I've seen anything else she was in. I know the only thing else that I've seen that Joshua Leonard was in was, I know he was in Hatchet.
Oh,
still haven't seen any of the Hatchet.
And there was something else that I'd seen him in for. I want to say it was like an episode of Law and Order. I think both him and Mike were both in episodes of Law and Order, but I can't remember.
It just seems like everybody's been on an episode of Law and Order at one point in time.
Because there's so fucking many of them.
Rob McElhenry.
Most of those people went on to do other things. This was their.
God damn it! I think,
and then they done Law and Order.
I mean, it's not even a claim to fame. I think Tony Hawk was in an episode of Law and Order. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it gets to the point where it's like, all right, who else wants to be on Law and Order? And then
exactly.
Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith's in an episode now.
Oh man! So at this point, since the bar is so low, I'm gonna try out for Law and Order.
Yeah.
Oh man, I heard through the grapevine that Kevin Smith is supposed to be doing some kind of like live action Batman.
There's so many yeah, like
you
like
can't
through the
tell
grapevine
real.
stuff with his stuff. Yeah, he's such a what is it like? kind of like a ray of hope for nerds. Like anything he kind of breezes by, he's like,
oh,
he's gonna fix it. He's gonna make it great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like makes like his tweets like his wish list, and then we all get pumped, and he's like, oh man, I want to do this, but like, fuck, I mean.
That was such a fucking thing. It sounded just like him, and it's like a little cadence, like I want to do it. Anyways.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at like fun facts for this. So in the scene where I was talking about where they were in the tent and it starts shaking, that was the director who was doing it, but they didn't know he was going to be doing it.
Like running out into the woods, like I don't. Have you guys ever been camping in the woods? I'm guessing you guys have at some point. Yeah, like camped out in the woods in a tent or what have you.
Like living in this area. Like even if you don't want to, you're gonna wind up out there.
You are.
Yeah. Okay. So fucking, we've all done that. But like, dude, there's times where like the wind will just hit it, and like every time I'm like,
oh yeah,
Blair Witch. Like it just hits it, and like it just hits it in weird ways because tents are stupid and they make like I don't know have like gay absorbance of fucking of wind coming in, but like
just a horse noise.
That's my noise of wind. It's just like wind sounds like
the wind sounds like Mr. Ed.
Yeah, well I'll take that. And yeah, it just comes in and it sounds terrible and it's scary and it wakes me up for the night and after the night.
No. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm done. I was just stressing about how much I hate woodwind.
So you're not like into clarinets or anything?
Right.
I'm not much of a wind instrument guy. I would like to play the saxophone, but I'm more of a string guy. I like bass, piano, doing shit like that. But
I was just going to add that I agree, like with random shit happening in the woods, because one time in particular, I was just with a friend, just hanging out in like his little tent or whatever, just playing some music, and storm. It wasn't like a storm; it was just like a thunderstorm or whatever, and lightning hit so close that we could smell the ozone like left over from the lightning strike.
Yo, you need to leave. You need to get out of there. What are you doing?
A rock and roll? I don't know.
Rock and roll? You're about to get lightning enrolled.
High voltage rock and roll. There we go.
Yeah. That AC/DC.
Yeah, so just like me, the actors...
Let's just ignore that.
Let's just ignore this horrible bomb of a joke he just made. Move on.
The actors during the filming were also under the belief that the Blair Witch was a real...
oh yeah, they're real entity.
A real event, yeah.
Yeah, you spend enough time in the woods, you're just gonna start going loopy, man.
Yeah, they knew that knew what they were making was fake, but they thought it was based on a real witch.
And yeah, it was pre-internet, so they couldn't just be like, "Hang on a second, boop 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 boop." boop. Yeah. Those you're full of shit.
Let me pull up GeoCities. Hold on.
Man, yes. If you can zone in on that Massachusetts place, yes.
Ask Jeeves, maybe.
Hey, he tried.
Jeeves even alive? Didn't they declare him dead in like 2016 or something?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think Ash G was declared dead. That butler like kicked over from like a cholesterol overdose or something. I don't know. He's dead.
Well, with all these free samples, I have well over 10,000 hours of free AOL. So
yeah, and to also, I guess, keep the actors stressed, they were given less food each day of shooting.
What the fuck?
You gotta keep them on their toes, man. What are you talking about? Yeah, man.
Like I said, they gave them enough water though. So yeah, so it took 8 days to film this movie. I finally found it.
Oh, which one? Which one of the two?
The Blair Witch Project.
Oh, well, yeah.
8 days to shoot the film, 8 months to edit.
8 months? What the fuck? Did they have to find the footage themselves?
Probably.
This movie took 8 months. Bullshit, dude.
That's what I've heard all night. Oh my god.
Here's what really happened: is Heather, Mike, and Josh just gave up and said, "Fuck it." and just hid the footage and left. So then the directors had to go track it down.
Oh, fucking called it.
That was the found footage.
Yeah, and the 60 Minutes thing, you had to find that inside of that cobblestoned little tiny fort that was made, and you could find the last tapes. Maybe that's where they were.
I think that's probably horseshit too. They probably just got lazy with it. Either that, or they try to find some distribution or something.
I really, honestly, if this was real, if this was a real thing, I really think that it would just the cops would just be like, all right, we need to cover up our negligence. We don't know where these kids are. We don't know what the fuck we're doing, so we just need to cover this stuff up.
Well, see, I think
that's not even negligence. They didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, but I think originally
when they found the tapes,
I think originally the movie was going to be less of the found footage part and more of the documentary side of it. But I think once they started putting it together, they realized they shot a lot of the three in the woods, and I think they kind of flip-flopped it and made that the movie, and less of the interviews and the fake. Which
okay.
I guess a lot of that came.
Okay, so that's where the 8 months came from. He had an assload of footage and didn't fucking know what to do with it for most of a year. he probably has 4 cuts this movie where the first one's an action-packed fucking bro shoot 'em up adventure. Who knows?
And I would say a lot of the other footage probably went to the Curse of the Blair Witch documentary that they showed on Sci-Fi. Oh. I would say that's probably where a lot of the other footage went, but I'm not for sure.
It's probably not even cut by him or anything. You're just here's what I have left. I'm done.
Yeah.
Literally one of the best things I can remember in recent movie history is learning that this movie that I've been following for 8 to 12 months, The Woods, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this directed a sequel to The Blair Witch. And that was just that was one of the best feelings I have had. And, oh, dude, I was so pumped.
I remember when I used to be pumped about sequels. Man, that was Now if I see any kind of rumor about a sequel to a movie that I love, I'm like, oh my god, stop it, please.
Yeah, apparently some people were so upset when they found out that the movie was fake that if they saw Heather Donahue in the streets, they would scream at her that they hated her because she really wasn't dead and it was all fake.
It's not that bad.
Were dead.
It is not even that bad. She shouldn't say that it is, because there's that one guy from Ghostbusters has been called Dickless for 35 years, and he fucking takes it like a man.
But how do we know, though? How do we know? These are the questions.
These are their stories. Bump, bump.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm sure we could get the guy from Law and Order and Fact or Fiction on. But you get Jonathan Frakes and the saxophone trumpet dude from Law and Order here for probably $100.
Well, hell, we can probably just get Kenny G for $100.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's just gonna hold one note for 200 minutes or whatever his thing is.
That's okay.
And just how that go. Yeah.
Yeah, so another thing too is this movie was filmed by the actors and they had no clue how to use the 16mm camera. So which is why a lot of it's out of focus and grainy, which also helps with the atmosphere of the movie, I think.
It adds to the authenticity of people that aren't, camera techs. They're just, college kids that are out doing a college essay. So, no, they're not going to be able to, focus, go in and out, and do all that. It added more to it, I think.
So
I think one of the other...
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say one of the other creepier scenes was at the end of the movie in the house whenever it's being filmed by the two separate cameras. And of course, the 60 millimeter is not recording sound. So you're just hearing the sound from the other camera the entire time as she's running off. So that was well done well.
You noticed that when they're in the house, it's really effective.
Oh yes.
Especially like when she's screaming bloody murder and it's like far away and it just gets closer and closer.
Right.
I mean, in the project,
because you're watching her camera the entire time, but the audio is coming from, I guess, Mike's camera that's down in the basement. And the handprints, the little kid handprints.
Yes.
Definitely made it creepier.
I'm curious to what, how much of this movie was actually just planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's definitely a goal he had in mind, even though much of like what the actors knew was pretty much that day of. You see what I'm trying to say? Like this movie, there's like little.
The handprints were, I guess some of the crew went to that house to do some graffiti or whatever, and one of the people just happened to bring their kids that day, and oh look, let's make handprints. So that definitely was not planned. That was like
really? Is that how that happened?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did not know that. Huh.
So the same little kids that get yelled at for putting their stupid little crayon drawings on the fridge are the ones that slap their hands all around this place.
Yeah.
As soon as you get back, I just painted on that house. That was for the Blair Witch!
But like what I'm trying to say, like not necessarily things that are just like happenstance like that, but I wonder if like the impact this movie made was the intention of the filmmaker, I guess. You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah, did they set out to...
Yeah, like the things we say, oh, that's genius, or that's brilliant. Is that necessarily what they had in mind, or is it just what they had to like end up with what they had?
I would say it was all happy accidents, other than the fact that they wanted to make a fake documentary about a fake witch. And like I said, they filmed, 8 days in the woods with these 3 kids, and now that becomes the movie. You know what I'm saying? And then, we didn't film this part, but it's more effective if you don't see what Heather sees as she's screaming,
So just like Star Wars, it was just kind of like a movie made in editing.
Probably, yes.
I would personally, in the aspect or respect of guerrilla filmmaking, which I think the Blair Witch Project definitely falls under.
Yeah, rest in peace, Harambe. But go ahead.
That I know that I'm going to get a lot of flack from the 2 of you and whoever else.
And most of our listeners.
Yeah, and the 13 listeners.
All right, well, everybody, you're about to probably not agree with me, but whatever. But I really think there's a lot of relations between that, the Blair Witch, and Night of the Living Dead. And the aspect of and not storytelling, but in the respect of the guerrilla shooting, of just by the fucking seat of your balls, just like fucking just really good guerrilla shooting, just going by it and just nailing the stories, and also at the same time delivering hella scares that really, I think, could not have been done if they had a bigger budget. I think if Night of the Living Dead had a bigger budget, it would have been worse. And I think if Blair Witch Project had a bigger budget, it would have been worse.
I don't know, because in the right hands, you can do magic. Like, as soon as George Romero got a bigger budget, I mean, Dawn of the Dead happened.
Dawn of the Dead
was a lot better than...
That's my favorite movie of all time. 1978, Ken Forrest. Oh, no. No, that's not good.
Even with this movie, with Night of the Living Dead, even if you think guerrilla filmmaking, they had the budget of this movie was $60,000. It's still, you still have to give credit for the story that they came up with, the Blair Witch background, all of that. I mean,
I guess so.
They still came up with all of that. It's.
I mean, it was
to the Blair Witch Project.
I mean, I get that. Like, they did everything they had to do to make this movie, but I still feel like the intention of this movie differed from what we actually got. Not that that's a bad thing,
How so?
I don't know, like I said, happy accident.
That's what I was gonna say. I want to agree with Carey that like this movie was a happy accident. I mean, there's no way a movie like this took 8 months to edit. I feel like this movie started somewhere, but this is just where it ended up.
Well, that 8 months of editing may also include the time that they edited, and then the time that Artisan, after they bought the rights to it, said go back and fix it. You know what I'm saying? There may be
no. That's what I mean. Like I'm saying, there's no way that this movie was edited 8 months straight. Oh, then finally they got this. Yeah. No, this movie had like cuts and cuts. They had like go back and forth until finally got a cohesive piece of film. You know
because I know the scene in the basement wherever Josh is just standing in the corner. Artisan actually made them go back and film that later because I guess the original movie ended without. Seeing him, I guess she just goes down there and
one of the rare instances
and dies.
Where I'm glad that a movie studio came in and made them shoot another scene because that would have been lame if they shown that.
I don't know. I think even without that, it's still if your movie ends with her running down the basement, getting closer to that microphone, and so shit's getting louder and louder, and then just something hits her, and her camera drops. To me, that's still effective. That still would have been an effective ending.
I agree, but I think seeing him in the corner raised a more like poignant question.
Yes, and that was, is he the killer, or is Josh the killer, or is there a Blair Witch?
Yeah,
but I'm also glad they used this ending because they had him film 3 different ones. There was that ending. There was an ending where he was like crucified on one of the like a gigantic stick man figure.
Ooh.
And then
that would have been too much.
And then I think there was one where he was, you could tell that he was like, hanging.
Oh, like hanged.
By his neck. Yeah,
No.
But him just standing in the corner.
That would have made no fucking sense. I'm glad he didn't use that.
Yeah, like
how'd he get there so fast?
Yeah.
He's like that dude from what was it, Hell House? Who like owned the actual hotel or whatever, and he just wound up fucking hanging himself. But like no one knows how he got there. Like there's nothing under his feet. Like he just took like a jump shot and just like hugged himself.
But yeah,
like
so,
there's no chair.
He took a running jump, man. He was committed. He knew his neck was gonna hit it.
Yeah, so you have a hanging scene, and then you have obviously crucified or whatever. The scene of just standing in a corner is the more effective one, and I also think that her just going down there and getting hit from behind or whatever still would have been effective. I still would have loved it. I wouldn't have changed my view on it if the ending was any different.
Maybe the jump shot, just hang himself for the fuck of it, whatever.
Yeah.
You hear just like a, just.
Yeah, so I guess this is just based on the budget that they had, the best highest grossing movie ever based on the budget.
Where did they gross already with this?
That I'm not for sure. I know that another way they helped their budget was the camera that they used. After they were done filming, they returned it to Circuit City and got their money back.
Oh, that's how you fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
Your money for nothing and your chicks for free. All right. Oh my god. So this is a camera that's been thrown around in the woods for like a week, and it's got probably shit all over it and stuff.
Yeah.
And some dumbass at Circuit City is like, yeah, okay, it's under warranty.
I can't believe they were like, yeah, just bring it back, bro. We'll do it. Fuck it. Like, that's hilarious.
They probably just didn't want to like make her mad. She seemed like a screamer.
So does anyone know how many times they say the word fuck in this movie?
I'm going to take a wild guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Boom, 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 boom,
I'm going to say an educated guess, 3.
Okay. Cory, you want to give a number there?
I will give a drum roll of a guess. I'm going to say a staggering 7.
Neither one were close. 154 times.
What is he, Tarantino? Get out of here.
Yeah, what?
Maybe I'm so just used to people just like using foul language. It just like brushed over my head.
Yeah.
I guess
Just using it for every kind of like English whatever, like an adjective, a verb, just everything.
they transcend. Yeah, I've become desensitized. All right, so I guess I need to rewatch this. Apparently,
With like a little sticky note and just like tally it up.
Yeah, man. All right.
Yeah, that'll be your homework for this episode.
I hate this class.
I'm gonna fucking drop out, man. Fuck this.
As an actual dropout, I agree.
Yeah, so another part of this movie that I really enjoyed was the soundtrack. I actually have it on CD somewhere.
Was there music?
Well, it was not music. Well, it had the creepy music from the basement from the end credits.
Was it an OST?
But it was
soundtrack?
The soundtrack was supposedly the mixtape that he made to listen to in the car ride.
Gotcha.
And it was a really good soundtrack.
There you have it, folks. A really good soundtrack.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, it's called the Blair Witch Project. Josh's Blair Witch Mix.
Man, I feel so inadequate and dumb and, again, inadequate that I just in the past, year have been getting into movie soundtracks. And
really? You're a fucking fool, then.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like that is an untapped piece of entertainment that I absolutely love.
Dude, I'm an absolute jabroni. I have been messing up mad bad. I've been fucking up bad. But, Jacob's Ladder, The Village, Reanimator, Darrenofsky's Pie, Signs. I mean, I know.
I am. If you like that stuff, you'll like some the more not contemporary, I guess more popular kind of stuff, especially your Alan Silversteins and stuff like that. He did Predator, Back to the Future, and Romancing the Stone.
I haven't messed with. I've never seen, and this is going on record now because this is on a podcast. Cory Thompson, have never seen a future movie.
Wait, from the future? What are you talking about? Are you in
Back to the Future? You've never seen Back to the Future?
Oh my god!
I knew the hate was coming down. I could see the thunder through my window.
Oh my god! I gotta hug my flux capacitor. Oh, come here. Oh my god.
Yeah, you want to hear a better one? It wasn't until 6 months ago I saw my first Indiana Jones movie.
Well, I mean,
I'm
the
26.
fourth one kind of knocked everybody off.
Dude,
if you have Amazon Prime, all 3 Indiana Jones movies are on there. All 3 of them.
It's such an effort to dive out. Literally, my dude had to buy Die Hard for me, and I saw Die Hard on Christmas Day last year.
Good.
3
I
hours.
was this fucking close.
Dude,
yeah. And Carey knows that's my tipping point, too. So.
I know y'all are going to laugh at me. My 2 favorite action movies are Brendan Fraser's Mummy and Keanu Reeves' Speed.
Dude, I can't even fault you for that. Those are both great. Which I'll cover
good.
on my other podcast.
Yeah, not my favorites, but yeah.
I have a very, it's about that. I'm going to throw Bad Boys 2 in there, and I'm not about to throw Martin Lawrence in anything in my favoritisms. But,
did you just say Bad Boys 2 just because of Hot Fuzz?
No, I said, but no, I like Bad Boys 2.
You ain't seen Bad Boys 2.
Bad Boys 2 is dope. And they're making a 3rd one, which I do not plan on seeing.
Bad Boys Forever. If we're gonna go fall into Baysploitation, The Rock is the best movie he's ever made. That maybe Armageddon.
Dude, the Scorpion King.
Anyways, the Blair Witch Project soundtrack.
Blair Witch soundtrack.
Yeah, it's really good. It has Typo Negatives on it.
Dude, it's
Beat Manifesto, The Afghan Wigs, Skinny Puppy. It's really good. I definitely recommend it. And then of course it's got, like I said, the really creepy music they played during the end credits, which is supposed to be just cellar noise from the the basement of the house.
There's not much you need.
Now they have to tip the Foley artist.
Man, when the thunder's bolting and the rain and there's not much music. I mean, they did a tremendous job, definitely. But like, the suspense was up to 11. Like, it was already. I mean, when they were going, not giving away anything, but when they were in there, and they really didn't need much to elevate the terror. That was one of the scariest movie experiences. That, Hereditary, and The Village. But I was 11. But those are the three scariest.
See, this one creeped me out. Of course, I've already talked about this movie, and the only other movie that scared me was on our previous episode. Other than that, I've never really other movies don't really scare me.
What was the previous?
It was this movie and The Changeling.
With
George C. Scott, not Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, not the 2006, the 1973.
I don't think it was 73. I'm gonna say it was 80 something. But yeah, that and the Blair Witch is only two movies
that was
really creeped me out.
Changeling and The Omen. I think like there was like just like let's just screw up a miner's brain, and like it ran with Cujo, and I ran with Cujo pretty well, and then The Changeling, and then The Exorcist, and The Exorcist is checked out. But
man, The Exorcist was way too good. Like, who gave it the permission to do that?
Yeah.
Dude,
See, even that movie didn't really scare, and I saw that as a kid, like, and it still didn't creep me out as much as The Changeling did.
Man, my mom, for whatever reason, at Hollywood Video got me all 3 volumes on VHS of Faces of Death. Went through that.
Oh my god!
Age of 5. And then seeing The Exorcist at age 9 scared me way more. Dude,
Exorcist was definitely like, like child molding.
Yeah.
Dude, when she came down the stairs, I was so checked out, dude.
What had you seen previous to that?
Man, like when I was 5, since I have been 5. Dawn of the Dead, 1978, George A. Romero, Tom Savini, like Ken Foray, no. I mean, Dawn of the Dead has always been my favorite, but like, I've seen a bunch of horror movies, but The Exorcist really just got to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I had a kid that went down a street or two, like it went down like a hill. And I'd hang out with him, and like, all right, you got to leave. And like, all right. And it'd be night, so I would leave. And I had 3 people that were hell-bent on killing me. Linda Blair, Samara from Ringu, and Pennywise. Those are the 3 people I knew for a fact were going to kill me in between getting to my house or getting from his house back to mine. It was absolutely horrible.
Jesus, I thought I had it bad just being afraid of Gumby.
Dude, being afraid of Gumby? That'd be horrible if you met Gumby. He's got to be like 7 feet tall.
Yeah. So, final thoughts on the Blair Witch Project. Go ahead, Cory.
I think that it is arguably, if not the best found footage horror movie. To my knowledge, besides Peeping Tom, the 1960 movie, I think that it is the first found footage horror movie. I don't know.
May I introduce you to America's Deadliest Video?
It is not
America's Deadliest Videos.
Yes, that is the first.
Or Deadliest Home Video.
Well, maybe unless we count Cannibal Holocaust, but.
Oh, well, no, yeah, Cannibal was handheld. Yeah, no, Cannibal. How could I forget about Cannibal? Good lord. Anyway,
Well, Eli Roth surely didn't.
I'm Green Inferno. It was independent, but all right.
I mean, that's the kind of movie where you make, and you're like, wait, what about the clock with the house with the clock in its walls or whatever next?
Yeah. House with a clock. I want to see that movie, man. I don't care. I saw the first Goosebumps. I can't wait to see the second one when it could out on Blu-ray with Jack Black.
I'm kind of pissed they didn't call it Two Spumps, so whatever.
That would have made it so much better. Anyway, yeah, Blair Witch Project. Again, I definitely, without a doubt, I can say with confidence, the most influential. I mean, as above, so below. I think that was heavily influenced by that. I think that a lot of movies have been influenced by it. I think that it's a really, really scary psychological movie, which I think a lot of times are better than more physicals because it leaves it more up to the, to the viewers.
Imagination.
Yep. Hitchcock. But, yeah, passing it over.
Eric?
Well, as I catch that fart mid-wind,
how's it smell?
This is a good movie. It sounds like such a bland way or blasé way to say, but this is a solid movie. Like, I'm totally happy with revisiting this and seeing that it's an actual quality picture. Like, I didn't hate it. I actually liked it. It's good. Please watch it. I can definitely see how this spawned a whole brand new... It's a whole new... Like, it spawned the whole new found footage genre, which is currently in the shitter, by the way. Yes. By all means, I can see like why this took off the way it did.
It is. Everybody's on on demand or anything. Nobody's getting wide releases of found footage anymore. I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, that was it. It's a good movie.
Yes, I too enjoyed this movie. Like I said, I saw it in the theater, probably premiere weekend, probably the weekend it came out. So 1999, and that is I can watch it again, but I would say if you've never seen it, if you watch it at home on DVD or Blu-ray, it's not going to have the same impact that it has in the theater.
I guess.
But it's still a good movie. It's the story was good, the characters were good, the acting, even though it was, hey, we're really out in the woods doing this, it was still good, and I highly recommend it, although if you can see it in a theater, see it in a theater.
I think it held up, and I watched it on my phone, so I think that's a little bit of a testament.
Oh, there you go.
I would kill to see the project in a theater, but I don't really see where it would potentially have more of an effect, like, obviously I haven't seen it in the theater, but on my 50-inch, that movie scares the balls out of me. It literally retracts out of me and leaves me. Like, seeing that in the theater, I don't know how I would deal with that. Like, when I saw the Blair Witch, I'm not good in theaters.
So, what you're saying is that we all have to watch this in a giant AVX theater with the rumbly seats and everything.
Yes.
I
just think that was my best experience with it, was in the theater. Obviously you were still able to enjoy it on your phone, and Corey enjoyed it, and it scared him to death on his
it scared me so bad.
50-inch television. But I just think, I guess it's just in my experience, the theater is the way to see it.
Man, I would have killed in cold blood to be able to do that. The only movie that I've seen old school in theaters, and I'm very happy that this is the one that I have seen, was The Shining, back in like 2014 or some shit.
Oh man, I had the opportunity to do that last year, I think, and I missed it. No, the year before. It was like the 50th anniversary or something. Because last year was I missed 2001 in the theater.
That would have been a beast.
Well, hopefully this movie will come up in the where Marquee does the throwback.
Oh yeah,
days.
It's been 20 years.
Maybe they'll show it again in the theater, and then everybody has to go watch it.
Do you guys mess with Clue? The Tim Curry board game, 1980.
Oh, phew! I'm glad you said Clue and not D&T.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Man, they were playing that in like November, and I missed the date by a day, and I missed seeing Clue in theaters. And
just a heads up, they show them on Sunday and Wednesdays.
Yeah, I completely screwed up. Yeah,
I work both of those days.
Same.
So,
always make time for.
Eric, I know that you've been away for what seems like forever, but what was it, 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. Did you see anything interesting while you were away?
I did. I saw. Well, it's kind of like a mishmash of stuff. Like I saw Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson, and I totally should have just watched the second Lego movie. That's almost a waste of time. I wanted to see that a lot more, but that movie turned out to be a big whatever. I saw Us. I'll zip my lips on that. You guys will like it, especially Carey. Carey, you'll like it a lot.
I can't wait to see it.
Actually, I'll talk a little bit more about it when we're not recording. No spoilers, I promise. But I will give you a little hint, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay," that kind of thing. Wink, wink. Anyways, saw Us. I enjoyed it a lot. Then I saw like an Apollo 11 documentary. That's got like a long story behind it, but that was good too.
Okay. Cory, what have you seen recently?
Man, I've just been watching a bunch of Black Mirror. I've just got Netflix as a recent, so everything I'm gonna say with Black Mirror is relevant. But the new horror movies I've been watching on there. I've watched Mara. You guys?
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen it on there, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's a very good psychological ghost movie, I guess you would say it was. Man,
there's a horse again.
Yeah.
Do what?
Nothing. I'm just busting your balls.
Yeah. So you said
you're
new to Netflix, like you just got it.
Dude, yeah, man. Like y'all have been messing with it since like 2009. This is the beginning of month 2.
Who the fuck just broke down the door with a ukulele?
Oh, it's if I start up these trailers on Netflix too late, then they start up. If I like stick on a thumbnail, then it'll start up.
Well, I was going to tell you to on Netflix, you have to check out Love, Death, and Robots.
I've seen that, but the thumbnail looked kind of iffy. What is it really about?
It's just animated shorts. They're all under 20 minutes long, and it's really good, and I recommend it. There's probably 9 or 10 of them, I think.
I am down for that. All right.
And I have watched nothing new recently. The only thing new that I started watching is Gravity Falls on one of the streaming services.
Gravity Falls on Disney XD?
Well, I'm watching on one of the streaming services. But
see,
yeah.
like Gravity Falls is like one of those. Gravity Falls is like one of those shows. Yeah. It's good. It's one of those shows that if I were to watch it when I was 10 and watched it again now, I would have gotten everything. Like it would have been a show like for both ages. But now that I'm an adult and I've grown up with shows like The Simpsons and stuff like that that have all these like hidden meetings and all that junk. I enjoy it thoroughly. Gravity Falls is great.
Enjoying it. Yes, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, considering it was a Disney cartoon.
Yes, I'm surprised.
I'm enjoying it.
It's great.
I'm surprised that show got away with so much because it's just from the mind of one guy.
I mean, the guy who is the creator is best friends with Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty. They've been friends for a long, long time.
They've been writers like their whole life. That's how they know each other.
Oh yeah, I mean, like before I knew about Roiland, I saw him. If you guys remember that terrible reality show on True TV, it was called The Smoking Gun, and they would just show like stupid people breaking into things or just breaking cars. And Justin Roiland was one of the commentators on there. And it's like the first time I ever remember seeing this guy, and then I heard about his name like 8 years later, and I was like, I remember this dude. Wait. And here I am, and that's my tale. Yeah.
So, Cory, I know you don't have your own podcast or anything, but I'll let you. Where can people find you on the interwebs?
Just the Facebook with my name, Cory Thompson. Just that.
And you're only on Facebook?
Yep.
You poor fellow.
Yeah, I really haven't branched off much.
All right, and Eric, go ahead and plug away with your stuff there.
All right, everybody ready? Cracks knuckles. All right, here we go. My podcast called Beards and Brews Movie Reviews. That's going to kick off again. We did a pilot season of 4 episodes, and we're going to gear up and start make some more. So you can find us at Beards Brewscast on Twitter. You can also find us on Facebook under our same name. And that's since I'm back in the States, I can finally get production going again, and that'll be a whole lot of fun too.
Yeah, we look forward to it. And you can find you can find me on Twitter at 1313 Inc. You can find this show on Twitter. We're also on Facebook. We have a Facebook group and a page, but I think they're connected somehow. So if I post the one, it posts the other one. I'm not sure how it works. You can find us on Podbean, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, Google Play, Apple Play Store, I think it's what it's called.
Friendster, MySpace, LinkedIn.
One of those.
Snapchat, we're on there. You can find us all there. And you can find a podcast from beneath. You can find Beards and Brews, and you can find the Poe and Grim podcast on our website. That is 1313inc.wordpress.com, and that's our podcasting network website. So that's where you can find everybody at. And if no one else has anything else to say, we'll go ahead and end this week. Cory, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Stepping in, for since Billy couldn't be here. And if we need you again, maybe we can have you come back for some other special episodes.
Definitely would be more than happy to. And also RIP to Billy with that bear.
That's right.
Rip in peace.
I'm sure he'll be back next week.
With another bear.
Yeah, but if there's nothing else, I guess we'll go ahead and end this episode.
Thanks for listening.